My name is Ebini Pere. Everyone calls me Ebi. Yeah, Ebi's fine. In fact, everyone has kind of said what I wanted to say, but I will still talk. Okay, so I work at the Sainsbury's Center. I am the Marketing and Communications Officer at the Sainsbury's Center. The Sainsbury's Center is a world-class art museum just 2 minutes away from here. It's owned by the University of East Anglia, so technically I work for UEA. I graduated from UEA International Development. When did I graduate? 2022. Yeah, but prior to that, I was working in communications in Nigeria. I worked in different industries from fashion to real estate and gbogbo tigbo. That's not the story. My story is very peculiar. 2 years ago, about this time 2 years ago, so this is March, I came into the UK in February 14th, 2022, as a student. What that means is I came week 4, second semester. So I did my first semester online, virtually, and then I came in week 4. You guys are here. This is, we're in March, right? Yes. So it means like I just arrived in second semester. I was a total mess. It was horrible. I did first semester, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have friends in class. Who's going to talk to you when you're joining in on Zoom? Like, who cares about you? So I came in second semester. While my mates, people like you, are thinking of what can I do with jobs? How can I get better? I was looking for a house. I was missing my boss. I was trying to understand the map. I was a complete mess. That's the word. I was a complete mess. So I came in February, and one of the things that I kind of like just said to myself was, this is where I am. This is the time I have come in. I had some issues with my passport and my visa, and that was why I couldn't come in at that time. So when I came in, the odds were against me. Like, the odds were literally against me. And which is why, like, I'm really, really happy you asked that question about, like, what will you do when people have gone ahead of you? So for me, I can tell you that story. That was my reality. Like, Joelle was campaigning. She was postgraduate officer. Me, I was going for house viewing. Can I get house? That was like my story. So it was really, really, really tough. And one of the most important things for me at that point, step 1 is reflecting on where am I? What is my season right now? Like, don't try to compare your season with anyone else. Your season is different. Your story is unique. So imagine if I was putting myself on the same pedestal with like my colleagues, my peers. I would have failed woefully. Because our issues, in fact, my issues it was a lot. I realized that I submitted my first semester papers. I submitted like 3 days later. I didn't even know what the protocols were because I was in Nigeria. I didn't have any friend. So it means that I failed my courses. I had carryover. So my battles were not the battles of the next person. Like, they were completely unique to me. So one of the most important things you need to, before you start leveraging opportunities, where am I? What is my story? What do I own? What don't I have? Like Linda said, being self-aware, like, is so important. Because when you are self-aware, you are able to make decisions that are particular to you. Like, decisions that are for you. Like, I can remember when people would, like when we were in school, people would have things that they wanted to do. They would have places they wanted to go to and things like that. And I'll be like, I just came to the UK. I don't even understand what you're talking about. Like, my problems, I have carryover. I have carryover that I did not fail. They said I submitted late. My problems are your problems. Like, it's not the same thing. So, like, one of the most important things you need to do is understand where you are. So for me, when I came, I wasn't trying to get a job. Like, sponsorship, that wasn't like my plan at that point in time. Like, my goal was just to settle in, understand. Okay, they said I failed these courses because I submitted late. How can I sort it out? What can I do? And Linda spoke about being like open, like being vocal about your problems. A lot of people around me knew I came late. I came late, please, how can you help me? Like, it helps because that issue, the issues I had with the courses, one of the professors was the one who helped me sort it out. So apparently I had COVID in Nigeria and I submitted late, but I just felt like I had COVID. Like, you guys should understand that I had COVID. When they started telling me to bring like a COVID result and whatever, it was the professor that just told me, you had COVID in Nigeria in December. There was one variant of COVID that time. Why don't you get a newspaper clipping that says there was this variant of COVID? I didn't do a COVID test. My colleague in Nigeria had COVID, but I paid drugs with my phone. Why don't you print your statement? You told people on WhatsApp that you had COVID. Print your WhatsApp conversations. And that was how I submitted for academic appeal, and they pardoned me. So opening up to my lecturer to say, this is my problem, Major Shanumi, help me. I'm late, these are my problems. So being vocal, not that you're just gonna start telling everybody your problems, know who to speak to, but recognizing like the point at which you are in your journey is so, so important. Because you wouldn't be chasing what other people are chasing, you're focused on what your own situation is. So that's step one. Recognize the point you are. What do I have? What don't I have? Who can help me? What season am I in? Understanding this will guide you. So I wasn't trying to look for a job. I was trying to settle in. And I think I started trying to think about a job until like much, much, much later. After I'd graduated, and in like February last year, that's like more than a year, that was when I was like, okay, now I've gotten my postgraduate visa, what can I do with my life? And I realized that I didn't have what others had. I came late. That was my own story. That's my own tagline. I came late. So I can't put myself on the same pedestal with someone like Linda. Linda has written books. Me, I'm fighting carryover. Joel has gone to campaign. No, we're not on the same level. I came late, I'm sorry. So, so I decided to seek help. What resources do you have? So when you realize the point at which you are, what are the gaps? So if you say that you want to, Mr. Brownshirt, you want to go to O2 Arena, you want to open an event company, what are the gaps? What do you have now? How do you get to that point? Who can help you? What are the resources you need to have access to? Like she said, Linda said information. Information is key. And you need to be desperate to get that information. Everyone has said they want to do this, they want to do that. You have to desperately seek out that information. So for me, I knew that the odds were already against me. So I had to go to UEA Career Central. And I said, okay, I'll finish school. I'm here. What can you do? How can you help me? And I submitted my CV, and I went through the whole process. I registered for mentorship. I had different sessions. Mind you, I was working part-time in support as a carer. So I had that. You have to carve out time for yourself. You have to carve out time for what's important to you. You need to sort out the bills, but you also need to work on yourself. You need to work on your professional development, amongst other things. So I went to UEA Career Central, and I was like, okay, these are the situations. There are times when I would schedule the interviews during my break time at work. And while I'm on my break time, like it's break time, I would be having those conversations. So you have to deliberately create out time for what's important to you. So long and short of the story, UEA Career Central was the thing for me. So I signed up for mentorship, and like she said, they would send you a list of mentors. You get to pick who your mentors are. For me, I was strategic with my choosing. The first mentor I chose was someone who studied international development like me and was also an international. So she was a Japanese lady, I think. She was an international. And the first conversation I had with her, she told me, she looked at my CV and she said, you don't have a UK experience. Nobody's going to hire you. And she said, go and volunteer. I'm like, I don't know, the same question you asked. I don't know any organization. She said, what do you want to do? Look for organizations in your field and volunteer. So I started volunteering with Oxfam. Luckily for me, there's an Oxfam in Norwich. So I used to go there every Monday, meaning regardless of whether there was shift or not, I would show up at Oxfam on a Monday, and I would go there. So I started volunteering at Oxfam as a social media, whatever, volunteer. And that was what was on my CV. And then later on, I became a volunteer at UN Women and all of that. So that was the first takeaway from my first mentor. My second mentor, I'm not sure what he said. He was just saying whatever. The third mentor was my guy. He was my guy. So what the third mentor did is we would have coffee every month, and he would ask me, AB, what have you done this month? I'd be like, I've been busy. I'd be like, busy doing what? So having an accountability partner helps. Having someone you're accountable to. And you don't necessarily have to wait till you have your mentor. Your circle of friends is also very important. For me, my friends, all that time I was saying I'm late, my friends were the ones. So opportunity doesn't just have to be information. It doesn't just have to be all these things we've spoken about. Opportunity also exists in people and with people. So the people you have around you are also opportunities as well. So for me, one of the reasons why I was able to go through my lateness period, where it felt like everything was crashing down, was the people I had around me. Like, they would literally say, okay, this is not the end of the world. You came late, it's okay. It's okay. You know? They'll be like, it's okay. So yeah, my mentor, I was talking about my mentor before I deviate. So my mentor was really, really crucial to me getting my job. It would ask me, like, what have you done this month? How many jobs have you applied to? Let's see your CV. If you don't get the role that you are going for, what's the buffer? What can you accept? What is acceptable? What is not acceptable? So it was really, really helpful. And so pick your mentors. If you're going for the UA career mentorship thing, pick your mentors across different sections. So the final mentor I had was someone who was in HR. So he was able to structure my CV. He told me certain things. One of the most important things he told me, which was really helpful for me, was he said, whenever you see an application, there's always an email that says, there's always an email there, please contact for further information. Please contact them. That was how I got my job. Please contact them. Write to the whatever name is there. Write to them. So for my own job, I wrote to the head of my department at that time, and I was like, oh, hi, I'd like to have an informal conversation with you about this job, yada, yada, yada. And she was like, oh, she's busy, she can't have the conversation. And I was like, oh, okay. But when I went for my interview, I was the only one that wrote. So she was like, I was the only one that sent the email. So she was like, at first she didn't know who I was. Obviously, my name is very long. And when I got to the interview thing, there was a long time. And she was just like, okay, can I just show you around the museum? And we're walking around. And she was like, your name is Ewi, right? I'm like, yeah. She was like, you were the one who sent me the email. I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, it rings a bell. So what my mentor said actually worked. What he said is when you send an email ahead of time, it rings a bell. Even if they don't take it seriously, they've seen that name. So they know that you're kind of slightly different from the other everyone. You make an effort. It means that in other things that you would do, maybe when you get the job, you're someone who takes extra initiative and all of that. So that was very, very helpful for me, like in getting my job. Are we all here? Yeah. So one of the things I also learned from my mentors or in the mentorship experience was, I've spoken about volunteering. So I volunteered with Oxfam. I volunteered with UN Women. And also, what's your digital footprint? What are you saying online? Because people always check. Here, LinkedIn is important. If you are going towards the career line, LinkedIn is important. Even if you are in business, I'm in business. Even if you are in business, please, what is your digital footprint saying? What can people say about you online? You know, like these days, you know, we say no grief for anybody, literally no grief for anybody. You have to show up. You can't just be somewhere saying you're waiting for opportunities and all of that. How will people even know that you're waiting for opportunities? How will people recommend certain things to you when you don't put yourself out there and you don't say, this is what I'm doing and all of that? So your digital footprint is very, very important. One of the things my mentor told me to do during that period was to talk on LinkedIn. I'm like, I don't talk on LinkedIn. I'm a very, very shy person. I don't like to put myself out there. She was like, just talk about your experience. You've got you've got a lot of things on your CV. You've done stuff in Nigeria. Even if you don't have like UK experience, you've done things in Nigeria, talk about them, do throwbacks, share lessons, talk about it. And I feel like that was also very, very helpful for me, like my journey. So yeah, and I'm sure that everyone, a lot of you right now, some of you spoke about like applying to jobs and everything. I just want to encourage you guys and to let you know that this stage that you are in is a heavy stage. It's a lot. It's a stage where you go through a lot. Like, there will be unfortunately's. Unfortunately, in fact, they become your best friend, the unfortunatelys, with the way they come. You're afraid. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It took me maybe 11 months before I got my own job. But let's go back to what Linda has said. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's season is different. There are people who had jobs immediately. There are people who started businesses. There are people who did different things. Understanding your season, understanding who you are, understanding where you are in your journey is so, 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 so important. I had so many unfortunate. In fact, there was this interview I went for, excuse me. I thought I was going to have the job, and I'd already imagined myself in... You don't get, I think it was with the UN or something. Yeah, it was with the UN. I had applied to join the UN, and I had a friend from class who's American. She had worked with the UN, so she prepped me for the interview. And all the questions she asked me when we were prepping was what they asked me. So in my mind, shit, I'm working with the UN. Investor Sabinus had calculated, I calculated everything. And for me, in fact, that was really bad. They ghosted me, it was heartbreak. They didn't even respond after, and they said we were top 3, and they don't now respond. Why? I was waiting. I emailed them, how far now? They said the person is on holiday, annual leave. I didn't hear from them, silence. I didn't apply for 2 or 3 months after that because I was so heartbroken, I was crushed. It was so difficult because I had imagined myself in that role. It was a lot, going back to apply again. In fact, I was just vibing. Just you know what, let's just live on vibes because I can't deal with another heartbreak. But it's so important to have people around you that let you know, encourage you to keep going. So if you have a tribe, please hold on to them. If you don't have a tribe, please contact Keke. Keke will motivate you, and she will connect you to people that can ask you how far. It's so, so important because the day I applied for my job, I had worked a 14-hour shift, and I was about to sleep. And a friend of mine was like, how far? You don't do the application. And I was like, no. But yeah, do them. So it's so important. That's why we said people can be your opportunities. So if I didn't have a checkmate, if I didn't have people who were checkmating me, who were saying, okay, you said you want to work on this. You said you have this application. How far? And it's so, 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 so important. And while people are doing that to you, you too be doing that to other people. Pay that favor. People, you have friends around you that you see what they can do. You see what they are capable of. But, just add more fire and ask them how far. And also, please be your brother's keeper. Call your friends, call your colleagues, call them, check up on them. Don't just be chasing money every day. Your mental health, your wellness is also important. It's part of opportunity. Because if you're not okay, you can't chase opportunities. And we all need each other. It's so important. We all need each other to exist, to function. Like Linda was saying, if you're not okay, please exercise, It's so important. Please exercise. Make time to exercise. Please exercise. Also eat well. Don't say because you are in the UK, you're eating only burger. Please prioritize your wellness. We hear stories of people who drop dead, who work themselves out, who do different things. Opportunity, your body too is an opportunity. You have to leverage it. Do you understand? Please exercise. You can get a skipping rope. exercise, keep at home. Like, you don't want to be looking for opportunities and you don't live long to enjoy the opportunities you've worked so hard for. So please prioritize your health, prioritize your eating habits. Don't just be eating burger and chips and all of that. Please, eat fruits. So, it's okay. We're talking opportunities. So, yeah, that's like so important. What was I even saying before I entered food? Exercise and all of that. So I'm just going to wrap up. Food is very important. Food is very, very important.
The right kind of food.
Yeah, the right kind of food, healthy eating, and also exercise, please, is very, very important. Please, I'm begging you guys. Health is wealth. Like, me, I ended up in the hospital. I forgot to even share that story. With all my problems, I ended up in the hospital. Like, my friend had to call the ambulance. So health is really, 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 really important. And also, if there's one thing I'll tell myself, like going back, is don't worry too much. I know it's not easy. It's easy to say don't worry, but please, don't over worry. Because me, I ended up in the hospital, I'm telling you. I ended up in the hospital. I fainted. Yeah, I fainted. I collapsed. Because, why? I didn't worry that I came late. It was 5 months after I came late that I fainted. Do you understand? It felt like I was drowning, you know? And after I left the hospital, I had side ulcer because I wasn't eating. That's what I'm telling you, eat. Don't go to work and eat, please. Now they're alive, they chase opportunity. It's so important. Now they're alive, they go work. So please prioritize yourself. Like, it's so important. So I'm just going to end everything. Moving across countries is not easy. I want you to do like this. Put your hand on your back. Pat yourself and say, I've done well. Just say your name. My name is Abi. Say, you have done well. You have done well. It's not easy. So you need to be kind to yourself and say, you know what? I know I'm starting a new path. I know that I'm in this season where it's filled with uncertainties. It's okay. Breathe. It's okay. You know. And you need to know that even if, like she said, God bless you, Linda, even if it takes 1 year, even if it takes 2 years, even if it takes 6 months, keep your mind on whatever it is that you want to do. Know what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're starting small. I didn't want to talk about my restaurants. That's a different story entirely. It doesn't matter if you're starting small, but just keep at whatever it is that you are doing. So I'm AB Marketing, I'm also AB of AB's Kitchen, but that's a different story. So it doesn't matter if you're starting small. Just keep your eyes fixed on what you're doing. And be kind to yourself. Like, be kind to yourself. And also prioritize yourself as well. So while you're doing saving the whole world and saving everybody in Nigeria, prioritize yourself as well. It's also important. And after you have done everything you are going to do, Ejo, please pray. Pray. It's so important. Like, for me, I'm Christian, and I can't do anything without God. There's the sprinkle of the God factor in the story. God is the one who lifts men. So after you have done everything, you have done the efforts, you have done everything, it's so important to pray. It's so important to carry God along, because there are certain steps, there are certain things that you do that is only the grace of God that would make way for you. My interview, they asked me, what's the most challenging thing you've done? I said I led a team of 60 people during a political crisis, NSASU, during a political crisis, and I led a team of volunteers of 60 people. So technically, that was crisis communications. And the director was like, oh, please tell us about it. Tell us about it. And I was like, NSAS. NSAS. Political uprising. The youths were clamoring. I was head of communications. They asked me what, if you're leading a team, wouldn't they ask you what you're going to do? And that was all I said. And it was when I resumed the job that my head was saying, oh my God, this is the girl that said she led a team doing political uprising. Do you get what I mean? So there's also the God factor as well, you know? There's also the God factor where God would lift you, it would open doors for you, and everything would just happen at the right time. I joined my organization at the right time. The head of my unit left the day after I resumed. I didn't have a manager for 3 months, so I was doing my thing. To God be the glory. But I mean, that's thing. So I'm going to do a small exercise. Please, everyone indulge me. Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. We're not praying. No, your phone is safe. It's safe. You take that from a UA staff. It's safe, okay?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So everyone, please close your eyes. Close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. Okay. Close your eyes. Imagine what your ideal opportunity looks like. Close them. One or two like strong. Close your eyes. So I mean, imagine what your ideal opportunity would look like. What does your ideal opportunity look like? Imagine yourself in it. Visualize it. What does it look like? What are you wearing in that opportunity? Where are you chilling in that opportunity? What's it looking like for you? Even though it's stressful, you can handle it. Say, I can handle it. Even though it's stressful, I can handle it. You see, where you want to sell on to, you know they close eyes. No, allow her, focus on your focus. So, I mean, just think about the opportunity, and everyone just say, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. So, I just want you guys to know that opportunity is possible. It's very, very possible. With God, all things are possible. It's very, very possible. It's very, very possible. So please, if you guys need to speak to somebody, we're here to help you. It's not like we've got everything figured out, but our people say follow no road. And a different road than they used to enter markets. Yeah. So speak to Keke, speak to someone. We know a bit of, we have people in our community. So please don't isolate yourself. And if you are feeling like it's really, really heavy, speak to someone. Have people encourage you. No go die, you are beg go.
Yeah, like recommendations for my GP and like a counseling center within Norwich, and they also like give students like very great discounts. You really pay little things. So if that's also your thing, I mean, just as much as possible, just ask for help. Yeah.
Yes, I was about to say that the student services has a counseling service, and there is a form on your dashboard where you can like apply for counseling, and you can then tell them what type of support you need, and they will be able to help you with that. And that's free of charge. It's a service provided by the university. And also, I just wanted to say also, part of like what everyone is saying is also actually telling people, if you don't know things, tell people what you need support with. So someone talked about doing a PhD. So there, me and my friend Nakwat, we are PhD students based at the Sainsbury Center. And so like if people need help in terms of how to apply for PhDs, I don't want to speak for Nakwat, but certainly I'm available to support anyone in terms of understanding how you apply, understanding how to think about and apply for funding and that sort of thing, because it can be quite lengthy. Like, it takes about 1.5 years between the time you kind of decide you want to do the thing and actually being able to start because of the process. So I think we also have to be proactive in terms of seeking the support, because you'll be surprised. You just, ask for something and someone knows someone who knows another person. So that's something I wanted to share.
Okay, my question is very simple. You talked about mentorship, so I wanted to know how can we go about getting mentorship?
Okay, you just go on UEA Career Central portal.
Yeah.
You sign up for mentorship, and they would send you a spreadsheet with like maybe up to 3,000 names. Please take your time and go through the names and find someone that is peculiar, find people that are peculiar to you. I think you're allowed to pick like 5 names. 5 to 6 names. And based on the availability of those people, they would connect you with them. For me, I was able to speak to all the mentors, but it was about 3 of them that were impactful to me. And also research the mentors so that you're able to ask them proper questions. Like for me, my first mentor was someone who finished from Dev, and I picked her because she studied my course, and she was an international. Because I had gone for, I was going to say, please join communities, not just Nigerian. And so I used to go for Norfolk Women in Marketing. I used to go for their sessions every month. And I went there, I applied for one job, and the founder told me that I can never get a job. Yeah. So she told me because I didn't have UK experience. So when I met that mentor, that was my question. How can I get UK experience if people are not hiring me? So that was what she told me. You know, she was like, okay, just start. And when I got my job, I had Oxfam on my CV, which was my mentorship experience. And my manager kept saying, oh, she came from Oxfam. So that's how they were introducing me, that I used to work at Oxfam. So go on the mentorship thing, look at the list, like it's very long, but please take your time and look at the little, there's like a 3-line profile of each person. So look at the list. They have people from different walks of life, not just people who finish from UEA and all of that. Even as a member of staff, I have signed up for mentorship. So learning never ends. So please sign up for mentorship. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, AB. I think we should applaud her some more. Thank you. Thank you, guys.